Okay, students, I will be using Google Meet until offline classes begins. In this, I have got this. You can see my screen, right? So here I have got attendance also. So I will be knowing who all have attended my class. I am recording your attendance as well. I am recording my lecture. I will be posting this lecture on my YouTube channel. Later on, whenever you find time, if you feel to learn it more, you can go through it. Already last year's um, lectures are available on my YouTube channel. Those who wish, you can just go through those videos once so that you can understand the subject better. And all of you might have joined Google Classroom. So in this classroom, I am posting the textbook, the syllabus, and other material. So you can see in this classroom, right now you have the things which is seen to you is this course plan and this notes. These things also I will make available to you. And then this is unit 1 notes, this is unit 5 notes, this one is related to number system. Some quizzes have been created. Once you understand the topics, you can just attempt the quiz. And assignments.
Hello,
And yes.
ma'am. Did you
Yeah.
started your video?
Recording.
No, ma'am. I'm unable to see you.
No, I have not started my video because I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yeah.
You want to see me?
Screen is also not visible, ma'am. It is just a logo of Usmania University.
Okay. So now, can you see this? Tell me whether you are able to see computer system architecture I have presented on the screen.
No, ma'am.
No?
Ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll check. Here I am presenting.
Yes, ma'am, I can see.
You can see? Okay. Uh, Pavan, I think you need to check up your. Are you on mobile?
Yes, ma'am. I'm on mobile.
Perhaps, but in on mobile also you can view. All other students are able to view except Pavan. In the chat window, you can give response. Okay, whenever I ask any question, there is a chat. So here you can just type whatever you feel. But suppose if I am on the lecture on another application, you perhaps y- you are also not able to see. Okay, mm, to someone it is. Look here, I am presenting the screen. Okay. Those who are not able to see the screen, you just log off and then again you try to join the class. And have you all installed Google Meet app on your mobiles if you are using mobile? You can give responses in the chat window. Very good. Yes. Pawan, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Other students? Okay, very good. So then let me continue. This classroom is quite important because you will find everything here. The material will be placed here so that you can access anytime. Also, assignments and tests will be conducted through this classroom, and marks will be uploaded in this. All of you join this classroom. This is one thing. Another is the textbook. This one is your textbook, Computer System Architecture, 3rd edition by M. Morris Mano. This textbook I will place in the classroom. You can download it or you can read directly from the uh, Classroom app as well. There is a Google Classroom app you can install on your mobiles if you are using mobiles to access that. Let us move ahead. Yes, student, anything to say? All of you, please keep your mics muted for the whole class duration. You can talk to me through chats, but suppose if I'm not uh, looking at the chat, then you can unmute and talk. Otherwise, please be on uh, mute. So I'm going to start the syllabus now. So what is computer architecture and why are we studying it? That if you know, then the purpose will be clear and you feel more interested. It is essentially one of the most important subjects in computer science with respect to knowing the internal details of a computer system, with respect to understanding how computer system execute programs on processor using memory, and further if you would like to pursue your MTech, PhD, GATE, NET, SET, for all computer architecture is extremely significant subject. Therefore, I urge you all to attend all the classes and perform all the given tasks, assignments, and quizzes, notes, and if you do all these, it ensures that you are understanding the subject right from the uh, first class. Otherwise, as we move ahead, the subjects gets complicated, and it turns out that it is difficult to understand it. If you start from today writing the notes, I am going to give you the questions, if you start writing the answers for those questions, because textbook is available online and also in the classroom, you can download it and you can spend some time in writing the answers. That helps you in knowing the subject and in getting important points related to a particular concept. Computer architecture is concerned with the structure and behavior of various functional modules of a computer system. Additionally, it also talks about how these modules interact to provide the processing needs of the user. The broad, the overall diagram of the computer system includes a process input, output, and processor. Okay, excuse me, students, for a minute. Sorry, students, about that. So we have important and primary components in a computer system, which includes your input devices, output devices, This our processor. This is our central process unit. There might be a I/O processor, input output processor, which will interact directly with the I/O devices. And there is apparently here a RAM memory, primary memory. So this is the block diagram of a digital computer. Inside this digital computer, you would find number of devices, and what these devices are made up of. Okay, you have devices. These devices are made up of um, components. And what are these components made up of? These components are made up of units, some kind of units. And these units further will be having the fundamental unit, which is a gate. If I give you an analogy for you to understand this better, the human body has got a number of organs, right? There is a heart, there is a brain. These organs are made up of tissues, okay? And these tissues are made up of cells. These cells are made up of some molecules and atoms. Finally, the um, finest element will be an atom. Like this, if you take it to the other way, collection of items form molecules, collection of molecules form cells, uh, number of cells combine together to create a tissue, and many tissues will form an organ. Okay, this is an analogy to this one, where a computer system would have input device, say keyboard, mouse, scanner. Then at this end there is there are output devices like printer, and you have output screen, monitor, which is nothing but monitor, and in between you have a processor. You might have heard about Intel i5, i7, and those processor you might have heard about, whether it is quad core, octa core. If I say quad core, it means that there are 4 processors inside that unit. And you also have primary memory, which includes RAM. You have secondary memory, which includes hard disk. You also have devices that are connected externally. For instance, your pen drive, through USB you can connect. So many other devices. You can connect camera, you can connect uh, external hard drive. There's so many things. These all are uh, the devices of a computer system. And how they are structured, like if you consider the structure of a human body, you will find you have a head, then you have hands, then you have your body, your legs. This is the structure, and there is a behavior for every organ. Your hand has got some purpose, some work. Legs have got something, eyes can see, nose can smell. All these, different organs are combined together to form a structure, and every component would have a behavior, and these can interact, right? it's not like these organs work in isolation. These organs would talk to one another. Suppose if you put your finger on the fire, what happens? There is a signal sent to the brain, and what brain does? Brain immediately instructs you to remove your finger from that fire. So there is some interaction. Well, computer architecture is all about structure plus behavior of various modules and also their interactions. Okay, the CPU interact with RAM, RAM interact with CPU, CPU through IO processor interact with input device, likewise interact with output device. This input, output, processor, memory, this is the structure, the broad structure. All right, as we go deeper and deeper, we will uncover various facets, like how this processor is made up of, what is memory, how it is made up of, what is its functionality. So your computer architecture is all about this. I have done with the introduction. Is it clear to you all? Please respond in chat, yes or no. Is it clear to all of you? Very good. Right. Next, we will move ahead to these functional units, gates, the fundamental unit, like an atom or a cell. Because when you combine gates together, you create some components which eventually form the devices in a computer system. Please remember these three terms: structure, behavior, interaction of computer system modules, computer system functional modules. This is quite important to remember. All right, we'll move ahead to the primary unit, which is a gate. What does gate do? Gate is used for the manipulation of binary information. If you tell to your computer 2 plus 3, what is 2 plus 3? Question mark. How will computer find out what is the answer of this? Computer has to decode this, means understand, interpret what is the meaning of plus, what is 2, what is 3, and then it has to be uh, processed, and finally you would get the output. And gates are blocks of hardware. Here this subject essentially deals with the hardware of a computer system. Like in your unlike in your other subjects, Java, C, there you are learning the software side of a computer. In this subject you are learning the hardware side of a computer, and together forms your computer system. Well, for you to become a good computer programmer, you have to have the knowledge of both hardware and software. you should have a thorough understanding, detailed comprehension of these things. All right. So gates are blocks of hardware that produce the signal of binary 1 or 0. If I tell you uh, what is 2 plus 3, immediately you say that it is 5. How you say that it is 5? Because you have learned during your KG classes that you through abacus you have got these beads. If you have two beads here, and if you have three beads here, then you count 1 2 3 4 5. There is a method with which you come up with the answer. Nevertheless, computer system, as we all know, is a binary um, system that understands only zeros and ones. This is decimal. We humans work with decimal, but computer system works only with binary. If you have to convert this 5 into binary, you have to uh, come up with its binary equivalent, which is if you use 4 bits, then it will be 4 plus 1, which is equal to 5. So computer understands that this is 5. We understand that this is 5. These symbols have been feeded in our brain since our childhood, that if you make a stroke in this manner and come up with this symbol, it is 2, like that. um, and then computer system knows that if we put 2010, then it means 2. And this input-output relationship of the binary variables is represented in a tabular form by a truth table. If I tell you 2 plus 3, you give me some answer. If I tell you 2 minus 3, you give me some answer. If I tell you 3 minus 2, you give me some other answer. Because you know the rules, the mathematics behind all this. Likewise, computer system has these gates and their operations. There is an AND operation. And in AND operation, if the input, both the input values is equal to 1, then the output is 1, otherwise all zeros. There is an OR gate, and you see this like a D symbol and this dot, and you can omit the dot, you can just put AB. There is an OR gate in which if any one is 1, then the output is 1, otherwise it's 0. And you see this is the AND symbol gate. Oh, sorry, OR gate. This is OR gate, the symbol for OR gate. This inverter gate. Inverter means it is complement. If you say, there might be, there are few people in the world. If we say that some of our friends are also like that, let us go to college, they say no, let us go to movie. If we say no, let us go to movie, they say no, let us go to college. Like that, whatever we say, they give the opposite of that. It's complement or invert. Buffer is as it is. There are some friends who say whatever you say, they say yes. So this input and output are equal. Whatever input you provide, the same output you get. There is a NAND gate. You see here, this is and the short representation for inverter is just a small bubble. When you apply this bubble to this AND gate, this becomes NAND gate. And NAND gate means, you see here it is A into B complement. Whatever you get, because 0 0 is 0, so here it would become 1 because you are complementing. Complementing means it is if it is 0, it gets 1. If it is 1, it gets 0. That is the complement. The invert, if you say yes, the output is no. If you say no, output is yes. Okay, so you see here, here it is 0 0 0 1, here it is 1 1 1 0. This is NAND gate, and this one is NOR gate. NOR gate is OR plus inverter. This is OR, up to here it is OR, and you add inverter to this, it turns out to be NOR. And if you look at this, 0 0 is 0, so it gets the value 1 as output, because it is inverting. Here it inverts. If 0 0 means up to here it is 0, but 0 when you are giving to this inverter, it becomes 1. So you get 1, and here there are 3 ones, and you can see the complement of these 3 ones, 3 zeros. Exclusive OR gate. This exclusive OR gate is also known as odd number gate. Please remember this. It is pretty important to know this exclusive OR gate. It is also known as odd gate. Whenever there is a single one or 3 ones or 5 ones, then the output is 1. Otherwise, it is 0. And you represent XOR in this manner, plus within a small circle. This is XOR. And how are you getting XOR? This is A dash B plus A B dash. This is XOR. This symbol you see, this is an OR with a line at the input side. Okay. This one is XOR. XNOR, you can see, if you just put a inverter here, complement, it turns out to be XNOR. And how do you denote XNOR? This one is A XOR B, and here you see complement. All right. And here it is 0 1 1 0, and here 1 0 0 1. These are digital logic gates like cells, fundamental units. Are digital logic gates clear? All right. Moving ahead. You see here, these gates are combined together to form a logic diagram. This is known as a logic diagram. And this one is a truth table. F is the output. The truth table has 2 parts. This side you have left side input and right side output. What are the inputs? X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z are the inputs. F is the output. And in binary number system, whenever you have 2 values, what do you do? Because there are 2 digits. In a binary number system, you have 1 and 0. So this 1 and 0 is denoted by this 2. And if there are 2 such values, then you get a combination of 4. If you have 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, okay, these 4 combinations you get. If you have 3 such values, then how many combinations you get? 2 to the power of 3. If you have 3 values, you get 8 total combinations. This is a combination, because here you have 3 input variables, you are getting 8 different combinations. All right. And this is the expression. This is X. Okay, X. This one is plus. This one is and. or this is or means plus, and means dot, and this complement means complement here dash. Students, 1 minute, I'll come. Please give me a minute.
హలో ఏమైంది? హలో ఫ్రెండ్స్, మేడం వెళ్ళిపోయిందా? హలో,
స్క్రీన్ రికార్డింగ్ లో ఉంది బ్రో.
అవునా? ఓకే ఓకే. మేడం లేదండి క్లాస్ లో.
Students, anyone please let me know whether you are able to hear me and see the screen. Can anyone please confirm? Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you. So here we have 3 variables. So we get 8 combinations. If suppose there are 4 variables, how many combinations we get? Can anyone tell me?
16.
Very good, 16. And with what value we start and what is the last value? Remember, students, that in this we start always with 0 and end with 15. If you include 0, the last number would be 15, and total it will be 16. Here for 8. When you convert this into decimal, the 000 is 0, 001 is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from 0 to 7. Whatever value you take, always it is 0 to n minus 1, whatever is n. Suppose if n is 4, it will be totally 16 and 0 to 15. If you take 3 variables, then it will be 8, 0 to 7. If you take 2, it will be 4. 2 variables if you take combinations. Here these are combinations. Okay, and these are number of variables. Okay, you understand this? Like this, we take a individual gate and then we combine multiple gates using some expression. We can represent this in the form of truth table. All these things you will study in another session by another faculty. This is unit 1 actually, so you would be studying that, but because if I start directly with unit 2, I am going to start unit 2, but directly if I start, it would be difficult for you to understand. Therefore I have touch upon all these basics. Another very important concept that you all should know is the types of circuits. Okay, this map simplification and all you will learn. Okay, circuits. There are two kinds of circuits. There is a combinational circuit and there is a sequential circuit. Combinational circuit means you have to learn this definition. A combinational circuit is a connected arrangement of logic gates with a set of inputs and outputs. At any given time, binary values of the output are the function of binary combination of the inputs. This diagram is important. You should learn this block diagram of a combinational circuit. You have input variables, output variable. Output is entirely dependent on input. Okay, this is combinational circuit. And this is a combinational circuit for half adder. What do you mean by half adder? Adding 2 bits. Binary addition, 0 plus 0 is, sum will be 0, carry will be 0. 0 plus 1, sum is 1, carry is 0. 1 plus 0, sum is 1, carry is 0. 1 plus 1, sum is 0, carry is 1. These are the rules of binary addition. You cannot change them. They are like that only. You have to learn them. You get to, like how we do addition in decimal, 95 plus 87. So what is this? 5 plus 7 is 12. So 2 and carry 1. What is this? This is sum value, this is carry value. Like that here also you have in binary. And we are developing a logic diagram using this combinational circuit. Moving ahead, it is not always in that the case where output is dependent on the input. You need to have something stored in this. So output will be, this is input, this is known as state. So output should be equal to input plus state. This is known as sequential circuit. In a sequential circuit, the output depends on input and the state. Okay, let me give you an analogy. Analogy of combinational and sequential circuit. For combinational circuit, suppose you know about people who loses their memory totally. They forget everything. Suppose if you meet them today at 1 o'clock, and next moment they forget. Okay, again 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, if you go and meet, they ask who are you, then you have to introduce. That is combinational circuit. Output depends on input, means present, whatever is there at that moment input, that output depends on that. Sequential circuit means like normal human beings. Suppose if you meet me at 1 o'clock, I will store your image in my brain, and then if suppose you come and meet me at 2 o'clock, you don't have to reintroduce yourself because it is there in my mind. So input means you plus state. What is state? That you met me already and it has been recorded in my mind. So that is state. So both together, then what I do based on suppose you are my student, you are meeting me for the first time. I ask you your name and I store in my state. Next time when you meet me, I ask you, what did you do during your graduation, and from what is your native place? That is the input at the next meeting. And what is my state? State is I know your name and I know that you are my student. All right, that is sequential circuit. Sequential circuit has state information. And how do you store the state information? Through flip-flops. You use flip-flops to store the state information. And what is a flip-flop? Please remember that a flip-flop is a binary cell capable of storing 1 bit of information. Flip-flop is a cell which stores only 1 bit of information, either 0 or 1. 1. This is one flip-flop. If you want to erase this one, you can erase this one and write 0. If you want to write 1 again, you erase this 0 and write 1. This is flip-flop. Now, suppose if you have to store 1000 bits, then how many flip-flops you require? Please give response in the chat. Yeah, very good. Yes, responses in the chat. If you have to store 1000 bits, how many flip-flops you need? One flip-flop? Yeah, very good. 1000 bits means 1000 flip-flops, because one flip-flop will store only 1 bit. Students, is my pace okay with you all? Are you all in sync with me? Am I going fast? Anyway, this session I am recording and I'll post in the channel, and I will share the link with you today evening. You can listen to it again. So this flip-flop stores single bit. It is a binary cell. And there are different types of flip-flops: SR flip-flop, D flip-flop, and these sequential circuits, block diagram you should learn. You have combinational circuit to which you are providing the input. Further, you also have flip-flops that store the state, and that state is feeding back as input to combinational circuit. Then you get the output, and also that is recorded again in flip-flop. A sequential circuit is an interconnection of flip-flops and gates. All right. Actually, let us look at your syllabus. Okay, let me open your syllabus. You all have the syllabus. Look into the syllabus. Computer architecture. You have Unit 1 data representation and overview of computer function and interconnection. Unit 2 is register transfer and micro operations. So you have Unit 2. These are all fundamentals that are prerequisites to understanding the actual syllabus. That's the reason I have covered those basics. This one is our, from here syllabus begins. Whatever is required, if you are not aware of that, I will explain you, don't worry. So from tomorrow, we are going to, means from next class, we are going to start this register, transfer and micro operations. Is today's class clear? Do you want to do you have any question? Okay, nice. Okay, students, then bye. See you.